In this video, we will demonstrate how Zesty Disk responds to a scenario where the storage increases and to a scenario where the storage decreases. Here is an EBS volume managed by Zesty Disk. We will copy the instance IP so we can log into it. In order to get a full summary of available and used disk space on this instance, we will run a df command. We can see our slash data, which has 10 gigabytes of space, and we have our root volume mounted on slash, which is 8 gigabytes. We will now run the df command in a 2-second loop to allow us to see the changes in real time. In order to see which disks are attached to the machine, we will use an lsblk command. We can see the 8 gigabyte disk and the 10 gigabyte disk, which are connected to the instance. Again, we will run this in a 2-second loop. Next, we want to see how this looks in the Zesty dashboard. We can see our slash mount with 8 gigabytes and our slash data mount with 10 gigabytes. Now, in order to see how Zesty Disk expands when more storage is needed, we will add a file to the data mount which has 10 gigabytes of available storage. Let's make the file size 8 gigabytes to see how Zesty Disk manages the need for additional storage. For the purpose of this demo, we will fast forward the file creation process. At the bottom right corner, we will see the write operation has finished. On the top left, we will see the disk reached 77% utilization. Now on the top right, we will see a new disk has automatically been added to the file system. Directing our attention back to the slash data, we can see the disk utilization dropping from 77% to 31%. This drop in utilization is because the total disk size has expanded to 25 gigabytes as a result of Zesty Disk. Let's now see how it looks in the Zesty dashboard. We will review our slash data by going into the metrics section. We will set the period to a 1-minute resolution to examine the behavior in a more granular fashion. The green line represents the disk utilization, and the blue line represents the allocated capacity. We can see how Zesty Disk reacted by adding additional capacity as utilization increased. Now, let's see what happens to allocated capacity when utilization is reduced. At this point, our slash data utilization stands at 58%. We can also see the same number in the Zesty dashboard. Looking at our slash data, we can see two files. We're going to reduce the needed space by deleting both files. On the top left, we can see the disk utilization dropping from 58% to 1%. The decrease in allocated capacity is not instantaneous and will take around 12 hours. 12 hours later, on the top left, we can see that our disk decreased from 25 gigabytes to 10 gigabytes. On the top right, we will see that the additional disk with 15 gigabytes capacity was removed as it is not needed anymore. And in total, we're back to 2 disks instead of 3. Now let's see how this looks like in the Zesty dashboard. We will review our slash data by going into the metrics section. We will set the period to 1-minute resolution to examine the behavior in a more granular fashion. We can see how Zesty Disk reacted to the decrease in utilization by decreasing the allocated capacity. We have now demonstrated Zesty Disk in action. We saw how Zesty Disk increased provisioned storage in real time by attaching a new volume as utilization grew and there was not enough free space left on the volume. We also saw how Zesty Disk reduced provisioned storage by automatically detaching a volume when there was excess available capacity on the volume. All of this happened automatically with no negative effect on service availability. Ultimately, utilizing Zesty Disk allows you to pay only for the EBS capacity you actually need while eliminating manual management of your EBS volumes.